After years of swimming through the choppy waters of the investment world, I found myself treading the most turbulent seas yet. The excitement and thrill that had once fueled my passion for the game were now replaced with sleepless nights and the gnawing anxiety of watching one project after another sink beneath the surface. My name is Thorne, and at this moment, I was standing on the precipice of financial ruin. My journey into the world of investing had started with a blaze of glory, one that many would envy. Early successes had come with ease, an IPO here, a startup there. My instincts were sharp, and my risks, though calculated, always seemed to pay off. But as with any game of chance, my luck began to wane. The tech bubble burst, the housing market crumbled, and I watched in horror as my well-placed bets turned into costly missteps. The worst of it was the biotech venture, promised to be the next big thing, that had drained the last of my reserves. It wasn't just about the money. It was my identity, my pride, my entire world that was crashing down around me. The fear of bankruptcy loomed over me like a dark cloud, and I could almost hear the whispers behind my back. Thorne, the prodigy who couldn't hold onto his fortune. I tried everything to salvage what was left, but every move I made only seemed to dig me deeper into the hole. That was when a friend, someone I hadn't spoken to in years, reached out. He was different now, almost unrecognizable in the peace that radiated from him. We had been through thick and thin together in the early days, but while I had stayed in the game, he had stepped away. He'd found something else, something that he claimed had changed his life. The old me would have scoffed at his suggestion. Manifestation rituals, visualization, energy alignment. It all sounded like a bunch of New Age nonsense. But desperation has a way of opening your mind to possibilities you'd never consider otherwise. I agreed to meet with him, more out of a lack of options than belief. As we sat in his airy, tranquil home, he explained the principles that had guided him to his newfound success. It wasn't just about positive thinking, he insisted. It was about truly believing in the outcome, visualizing it with every fiber of your being, and aligning your actions to make that vision a reality. At first, it felt absurd. Here I was, a man who had once prided himself on his analytical mind, now being told that the key to my salvation was to close my eyes and imagine myself successful. But what did I have to lose? I started small. Every morning, before the chaos of the day could sweep me away, I'd find a quiet spot in my home. I'd sit in silence, close my eyes, and focus on what I wanted. Not just the return of my wealth, but the feeling of success, the freedom from fear, the excitement of a new opportunity. I visualized it all with as much detail as I could muster. The phone call that would change my life, the numbers on the check, the look of approval in the eyes of those who doubted me. Days turned into weeks, and while the world outside me remained the same, something inside began to shift. I found myself more at peace, more in control. The crippling anxiety that had become a constant companion started to fade, replaced by a quiet confidence. It wasn't a blind faith, but a steady assurance that things were about to change. Then one morning, the call came. A voice on the other end, someone I hadn't spoken to in years, presented me with an opportunity that seemed too good to be true. An NBA team, struggling but with potential, was looking for investors. It was a high-risk, high-reward scenario, the kind that could make or break me. But there was something about it that felt right, like all the pieces were finally falling into place. I flew out to meet with the team's management, my heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and fear. As I walked into the room, the atmosphere was charged, but I felt calm, centered. We talked numbers, potential, vision, and for the first time in years, I felt that old spark of excitement. The deal was risky, but every fiber of my being told me it was the right move. We signed the papers, and I returned home with a sense of cautious optimism. The work wasn't over. The real challenge was just beginning. But for the first time, I felt like I was back in the game. Every day, I continued my rituals, visualizing the team's success, the growth of my investment, the doors this opportunity would open. And then, almost as if by magic, things started to turn around. The team, which had been floundering, began to pick up momentum. A new coach brought fresh strategies, and the players, once divided, started working together as a unit. The wins started coming, slowly at first, but then with increasing frequency. The media caught on, and soon, the team was being hailed as the comeback story of the year. My investment grew, not just in value but in reputation. The very same people who had written me off were now calling me a genius, a visionary. The financial returns were more than I could have hoped for, but it was the vindication that truly mattered, the knowledge that I had trusted my instincts and it had paid off. I wasn't just out of the hole, I was soaring. New opportunities came flooding in, each one more promising than the last. But through it all, I never forgot the lesson I had learned. It wasn't just about the money or the deals, it was about the mindset. The power of belief, of visualization, of aligning your energy with your goals. These were the true keys to success. Looking back now, it's almost surreal to think about how close I came to losing it all. But I realize now that those failures were necessary, a part of my journey to where I am today. They taught me humility, resilience, and most importantly, the power of manifestation. As I sit in my office, looking out at the city skyline, I feel a deep sense of gratitude, not just for the wealth I've regained, but for the knowledge that I have the power to create my own reality. The game of investment is still a part of who I am, but it's no longer the center of my world. I've learned that true wealth isn't just about money. It's about the peace, the confidence, and the fulfillment that come from living a life aligned with your deepest desires. And so, with each new opportunity, I continue to practice what I've learned. I visualize the outcome, I align my actions, and I trust in the process. Because I know now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the power to succeed lies within me. As for the NBA team, they went on to win the championship 2 years later. And while the financial returns were staggering, the real victory was something much deeper. The knowledge that I had manifested the success, that I had turned my life around by believing in myself and in the power of my own mind. Thorne, the investor who almost lost it all, had become Thorne, the man who created his own destiny. And that, more than anything, is the true measure of my success.